And welcome back. We've only got a few minutes left together in resource management. We were talking about conflict. Well, here's how conflict can be resolved. Compromising or reconciling is a partial resolution, right? So, really, it's kind of lose lose. Withdrawal or avoidance is not usually the best practice, but sometimes it can be if there's a violence. Say, hey, Jimmy, go home, come back tomorrow. It's paid. We'll talk about it then, right? Not usually the best, but can be. Smoothing or accommodating emphasizes agreements, but the results aren't going to last. Collaboration is the very best. That's real problem solving. That's win-win. So if you saw in the exam collaborating or problem solving, you're like, yes, that's what I want to do. Confronting is also win-win, right? It incorporates multiple views, but it's not meant in a negative way. Confronting is about root cause, right? Getting to the root cause. And then, of course, forcing would be the worst. There's a win and there's a lose, and that's not really the goal here. Manage the team process uses decision making, uses emotional intelligence as tools and techniques, right? So in decision, we've already talked about emotional intelligence, and you want to be comfortable that you want to develop your own over time. No doubt about it. It helps you personally reduce tension. It increases cooperation in the team. There are lots of times I'd like to say something, but then I say to myself, it would only make me feel better for a second, and it wouldn't enhance the team. Later, I will need something from this person. So I get much more out of continuing to motivate. Sure, you discipline, sure, you hold accountable, right? When the time needs to be, but it doesn't have to be every time. Choose it wisely. Ask yourself, do I really need to do this or that, to say this or that? What will I get from it other than feeling better? And that's a low emotional intelligence, right? You're taking care of the team. And then, of course, decision making. You can direct. Facilitation is much better. Coaching is great. Lots of other people. As you incorporate this balance between technical leadership and management activities. In managing the team process, be aware of power, right? Their formal power it's legitimate power. It's based on your position. There's reward power, which is best, right? It rewards motivate. Penalty power or some coercive power is usually considered worst on the exam. Expert power is another type of power. This is also one of the best. So reward and expert are the best. Reward being a type of formal power. But it's expert power is the best. We all know the person we turn to, and we can count on them for the right answer, right? Referent power is more of a charismatic power. It can be funny charisms. It can be stern, like Patton charisms. But it's a referent power. It's about, I will follow you for this or that reason, right? Informational power and financial power, right? So you have to know the powers and how to use them. Now, the last process is called control resources. Control resources is about physical resources. We don't control human resources. That was, we manage them in manage resource process. And any control process is about comparing the plan, which is represented by the project management plan and the documents, versus the actual results, which is found in work performance data that we get as an output of the direct and manage project work process. Okay? And then, of course, consider in controlling resources what agreements are out there. Do I have a contract or a lease on this or that crane or this building, right? That would be an important input. Our tools are many, but problem solving For the first time ever, the PMBOK guide comes out with a very detailed approach to problem solving. And so it's probably worth putting to memory. Identify the problem, then define it, investigate it, analyze it, solve it, and then check the solution. Okay. The outputs then, like any control process, work performance information. That's not new. We took that data that was an input and we analyzed it for variances. If there were variances, we did change requests. If there were change requests that were approved, we updated the project management plan. And of course, we can always update documents. Resource management terms, some final terms to be aware of. Rewards are team building, right? Without creating losers, that would be the goal. Recognition uses those motivational theories. You might involve resource histograms. A histogram, we said in quality, was just a bar chart, right? But it's a tool for charting here your resources along the path of the project to visualize resource use and maybe manage them, as we talked about in schedule management. We talked about resource optimization. If that term doesn't sound familiar to you, flip back to schedule management and look that up. So perks are perquisites. We call them perks in general, right? What privilege do you get, right? Maybe wages or some sort of special parking, right? That's a perk or a perquisite. Fringe benefits are benefits given to everyone, right? Like sometimes daycare or sometimes training. Everybody gets $5,000 training allowance a year or something, right? That's a fringe benefit. And then ADR, when we're managing resources, conflicts come up. One of the ways to resolve them is through ADR, alternative dispute resolution. And there are three types: mediation, arbitration, or if you have to, worst case, go to court in litigation. Okay. Mediation is going to have a third-party mediator, but they don't generally force a resolution. We want to work with the parties to solve it themselves. Arbitration is still a neutral third party, but they have the power to mandate a solution after working with you. In the end, now we have these are our baselines, which are all part of the project management plan: scope, schedule, and cost baseline. And we are always making trade-offs, developing our estimates in costs, estimates in schedule, and estimates in now resource management, right? We're always making trade-offs. That's what the project manager does in integration to make sure it works. So here is again your one-slide summary of all things resource management. We have our 6 processes across the top, and in each you have what's going on, some of the key points within each process that you should glean from this conversation. Then I have the demarcation, or the process is repeated again, just to divide that, what's going on in the process, from the key outputs that you are looking at. Okay, that's it. I've enjoyed it. We'll come back next. We have 2 left: risk and procurement management.